from NBC Chicago, lawsuit shows how migrant funds are being spent in Chicago. So I don't even know what migrant funds are, but of course, why not, right? Did you think this was just about letting criminal illegals run roughshod, putting them up in hotels, giving them free food, granting them amnesty, and then pretending that you were going to get tough on the border and blaming it on Republicans? That's not the only part of this. Of course, there's got to be some money laundering or weird scam on top of it, but my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description.
NBC5 investigates which for months has followed the money trail tied to Chicago's migrant mission. Total spending now tops more than $400 million.
Now, despite the creation of a city spending website.
And just so we're crystal clear, they've created this term migrant funds, right? So out of the criminal, illegal, human trafficking scam, there has to be money tied to it.
It's still not exactly clear where all of that money has gone. In this follow-up report, investigative reporter Bennett Haberly uncovers some new information not shared by the city.
Consider the...
Wait. Are these reporters telling us that maybe the city is not being 100% transparent on where the money is going or even coming from?
These numbers. More than 6,000 people still live in city-run migrant shelters. That means costs are still adding up. Since August of 2022, the city of Chicago has spent more than $400 million, according to the city's spending website. Nearly $253 million went to one private company, Kansas-based Favored Healthcare Staffing, which staffs the shelters. Another $76 million went to Equitable Social Solutions. That company partnered with another called ReloShare, which helped identify and sign lease agreements with property owners of the buildings that eventually became the migrant shelters.
That's where a number of those leases are.
But when we asked the city months ago for copies of these lease agreements, we were given just 9 out of 27. The use of these private companies has helped mask from public view where the public dollars have flowed. What we didn't know until now is how much the property owners of the migrant shelters were earning.
And of course, the entire thing is corrupt. There are no adults in the room. We know that. All the way up to the top of the ladder, the president, it's completely corrupt. It is disgusting. It is rotted from the inside out. But on top of that, Illinois as a whole, I believe, is like the most corrupt state in the country by the statistics.
But thanks to a new lawsuit, we're being provided some more clarity. A lending company filed this lawsuit last month against 2 Chicago developers, alleging they did not make it clear when they signed a loan agreement that the building in the West Loop would be used to house migrants. What is not in dispute is that the owners of the Ogden shelter are paid $150,000 a month by ReloShare as part of a use agreement. That means in a year's time, they'd receive more than $1.8 million.
Okay, and you know what this is kind of reminiscent of? Is the not-for-profit scams in San Francisco where they can constantly use the homeless dope fiends as a cudgel to ask for more money. And then, of course, they don't have to show receipts or explain where the money went. And meanwhile, homelessness just continues to go through the roof.
The lease agreement also calls for additional payments of up to $400,000 if the number of migrants inside the Ogden shelter exceeds 650. The latest figures show more than 700 people still live here. If there are public dollars involved, shouldn't the public know where they flow?
100%.
Back in March, Alderman Andre Vasquez, the chair of the City Council's Migrant Committee, told us aldermen themselves...
The chair of the city's Migrant Committee? So just another weirdo bureaucrat going to bat for illegals rather than actual native Chicagoans?
Have had a hard time accounting for all the spending.
That's still the question that's out.
When we attempted to ask Mayor Brandon Johnson about this at the time, he said this.
Again, we're meeting you right.
Well, he probably spent it on cosmetics and hair products, brushes, facials.
Right where you are.
Were it not for this new lawsuit, the public would have no idea how much these property owners are earning.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
We pressed the mayor about this last week and asked if he would consider adding the information to the city's website. He said this.
We have given an accurate account of how dollars have been spent.
That's it? Is there anything that would preclude your administration from sharing that level of detail?
There's no information that has been kept from you.
Johnson then reiterated talking points he's made before, how he's renegotiated contracts to save taxpayer money, and how Congress has failed to provide additional financial relief. He also doubled down.
So they need even more money. They can't keep, well, they can keep track of it, but they're not going to tell you where the money's going. But don't worry, we just need more. There's not enough. There's not enough funding.
Correctly stating that all spending information is available.
That information is available to you, sir.
Not all of it, though, is, sir. I mean, that's
Can you
the point.
give me a specific example of what's not available?
The Ogden shelter in the West Loop, that's what is spelled out in this lawsuit, that they get $150,000 just for being the property owner per month. Nowhere is that available on the city's spending website. My question, again, is simply, is there anything that would preclude you from including that level of detail? You guys have said you're transparent. Why not show it?
All of the information related to the spending to this mission is available.
That's where we left it.
Yeah, so he's just gonna deny, like, oh no, I gave it all to you. Well, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a reporter, but I highly doubt he did that. And he's just gonna blatantly lie to your face and tell you, oh no, we told you everything, right? I mean, this is just through the roof.
We have checked over and over again to see if additional information was added to the city's website. If it is, we'll let you know.
Wow. I mean, what? So not only are they letting people in, running roughshod, creating or committing heinous crimes, but on top of that, they are not going to tell you where the money is being spent, because it's certainly not going to the migrants, even though, which is fine by me, they don't deserve a dime. But there's also Simone Sanders. We remember her, right? I think back in the day, she used to work for Bernie Sanders. She's a bald lady and calls everything racist. But now, or she left Bernie Sanders to work with Bo Jiden, and then left Bo Jiden to go to MSNBC or whatever the hell's going on. But we just saw a day or so ago, I don't know, a couple videos ago, go ahead and check it out, that, you know, Circleback Psaki and Joyless Orwell Trump wig wearing Reed and some other lady, of course, Rachel Maddow, right? They're just laughing. They're yucking it up at the idea of people who are a little bit concerned about the migration. So on one hand, it's funny, it's a joke. But on the other hand, you should be very serious and call them what we want you to call them.
What do you tell the parents of those people, those young girls who were killed? This is absurdity.
The
preponderance of these people, Michael, are male.
But what is the difference between an illegal immigrant who unfortunately engages in that activity?
And we don't like that. I want to be clear. We don't use the term illegal. So
yeah, we don't.
Undocumented individuals.
That's sweet. They're illegal aliens.
Undocumented individuals versus.
Absolutely crazy. But who does she think this is actually winning over? She's just letting the regime know that she still wants a job, because I don't think I could be wrong, obviously, but I don't think even the MSNBC loyal viewers are going to take issue with somebody who eliminated at least one, if not two Americans, and committed other heinous crimes, but you're making sure that they're called undocumented, not illegal, which is fine. You can call them undocumented all you want, but are you going to refer to them as a criminal when discussing their criminal behavior? Here, of course, is the classic from Nasty, the Crypt Keeper, Pelosi. They all got the talking point. I don't know who is handing them down. Maybe it's Nancy. Maybe it's Obama. Maybe it's Soros himself. I don't know what's happening, but they clearly got the message. And this we remember from the State of the Union, where Bo Jiden was really, he was bright and sharp, and he set a great example for the country, which obviously that's completely untrue. But at that point in time, all of the rage was about Laken Riley, super tragic story, which I'm sure we all remember. But when discussing the man who eliminated that young lady, we also needed to be sure that we referred to him as she wanted you to.
Dan. Now, you should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing about it?
I actually wasn't even...
He should have said undocumented, but it's not a big thing. Well, it clearly is a big thing, because you are on CNN correcting the people on your team, right? Like in the last clip, that's MSNBC. The infighting is absolutely through the roof. And we see it over and over again, whether it's the Palestine people fighting with the LGBTQ people or whatever. Because we know that these ideologies will always, undoubtedly, conflict with one another. So, on one hand, illegal immigration isn't really a problem, but then it was a problem, and it was the Republicans' fault, but you shouldn't actually call them illegal, And while that's all happening, we're going to make sure to do some weirdo money laundering scam on top of all of it. But look, I mean, the media and the politicians, but I repeat myself, they've both gotten so outlandish. It's completely unbelievable. I mean, quite literally unbelievable. None of it is to be taken seriously. But what's even worse is that somehow the political regime has actually gotten so bad that, or Brandon Johnson in this particular case, well, it's happening all over the place, but they've gotten so bad and so corrupt that even the NBC sycophants aren't buying their BS.